What's up everybody, it's your boy Loco Joe, and my god, has this been stuck on my to-do list for so long now. But recently one of you, my lovely viewers, gave me the push that I needed to finally tackle this, so thank you to, god I'm gonna butcher this, Smokey, for leaving that very insightful comment. Anyway, let's get right into it. Actually, one moment. Couple of disclaimers before we begin. Number one, this is not going to be a note-for-note tutorial for the song. I have neither the time nor the patience to transcribe the entire album version or all of the live versions that are out there. Also, it's beside the point. What I want to do is take the song apart with you, show you the building blocks that you can put back together to your liking. Secondly, there is a couple of flat picking concepts that you should be at least somewhat familiar with before you tackle the song. First off, your alternate picking motion should come naturally at this point. And secondly, your cross-picking. Oh my god, this song lives and dies with your ability to cross-pick. If you're not experienced or familiar with these terms at all, I'd recommend you take a look at the video description. I've linked a couple of resources that you can take a look at to study and practice, and then come back to this video once you have a better grasp of those. Anyway, let's get back to it. Alright, so with all that gnarly legal stuff out of the way, we can finally take a look at those building blocks that I mentioned. There's a certain rhythmic motif that pops up throughout the entire song and is used very prominently. I like to call it the 3-3-2. You're gonna see some rhythmic notation there. Why do I call it the 3-3-2? Well, it comes down to the length of the emphasized beats. So this one is a dotted quarter note, i.e. 3/8 notes. Next one is also a dotted quarter note, 3/8 notes. And the last one is just a quarter note, 2/8. That's why we call it 3-3-2. What does this mean? These are the emphasized beats. Usually in most 4/4 tunes, the emphasis lies on beats 1 and 3. And here instead we have the 1, the end of 2, as well as the 4 as our emphasized beats. Keep that in mind. As I mentioned before, cross-picking is a staple of this song, and it is basically used to fill in the gaps between those emphasized beats. I'll get into more detail once we hit the verse section. And number 3, the embellishments, not as important as the first two, but still worth mentioning. Alright, let's get to the intro. Alright, so the basic gimmick of the intro is easily explained. We're just doing ascending arpeggios. That's all. In groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just that all the way through. And the stars of your show here are the bottom and the top notes. The top does the melody and is heavily syncopated, especially toward the end. And we're doing a bass note, can be a root, can be a 5. Any of the bass notes of the chords that you're holding down will do. And these happen on every downbeat. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The one quick note about the intro actually, I've seen from live performances that Billy frets the F chord differently than I would. I like to do this wraparound F chord where I fret the low notes, like the low F, with my thumb, but that isn't possible or comfortable for everyone. So, if you're one of those people, try it like Billy does. He's basically playing an F power chord. He's holding down an F power chord right at the beginning of the song. And then once it comes time to play the melody up on the B and E strings, he will move his index finger up and use the low C on the A string as his bass note on the downbeats. So, once we get into the verse, is where this 3-3-2 rhythm is first getting hinted at, and it's going to get more intense throughout the duration of the song. More and more instruments are getting in on it, and then it's also prominently featured in the choruses. And basically, what you can do for any of these verses is follow this formula of strum, cross-pick, and then embellish. Let me give you an example. So in the morning when I see her in the light, she comes through to me in any kind of weather. And I know I'll never see a brighter day when she smiles with her eyes. Even with a cloud torch full of doubt. You'll find a couple of examples for these kinds of embellishments in the supplemental tab that I'll also be linking in the video description. Alright, let's move on to the chorus. So this is the part where we really find this 3-3-2 rhythm in its purest form. It's very heavily accented and tied together with a couple of licks in between. Let's go through it. If you've been following the tab that I just put on the screen, you'll notice that I put a lot of these notes in parentheses. And I did that to indicate that those are placeholders. You can basically pick any string while holding down the chord in place of these, and it'll still sound good. And it's a great way to mix things up. Just keep that in mind. You don't need to play exactly what I just wrote down. Again, that's beside the point. And the solo section is really, it's just 2 verses and a chorus. The only deviation that I like to do is I like to play more percussively there. I'm not quite sure Billy does it differently, whether he plays it solo or plays it with the band. I'm just going to show you what I like to do, and then you can move forward from there. We still have this 3-3-2 accent, but what I'll do as well is do a muted strum, like wannabe mandolin chop on the guitar, so to speak, on the 2. So it'll sound like this. Quick note, we're not going to take an in-depth look at the guitar solo in this video. I'll probably make that a separate video, one of these transcription shorts. So if you're interested in learning that as well, take a look at the shorts section of my channel. I'll probably release it around the same time as this video does. I'm gonna summarize the final portion of the song in just this one section, because there is not a lot of things that are new here. The main things to watch out for are a rhythmic deviation in the final verse, a harmonic deviation in the final chorus, and then the outro is just the intro with like the first 2 measures cut. First off, the last verse changes the feel from standard 4/4 time to more of this classic bluegrass cut time feel, so we're basically going double time. Alright, so let me demonstrate. I'm gonna play the last 2 verses and you see if you can tell the difference. So if I come to some excuse me. So if I come to some conclusion by tonight, I'll be free from all the sorrow I've been drinking. I swear I'll never let her down. I couldn't bear to hear the sound of her steps. And in the evening when the sun is running low, I walk bravely through the fields of burning ember. And for the very last bar, like when we're going back to the A minor, it's back to that 3-3-2. Hey everyone, Future Joe here, or I guess for you it's more recent past, Joe? Well, let's not go down that rabbit hole. While I was editing this video, I realized I forgot to record the chorus, so let's go through it one more time.
But if I could find more that's worthy, I'd surrender it all.
And in the final chorus, once we get to the line, all the praise that I could earn means nothing without hers, we usually go from this F to C to G, but this time we will first go from F to C to E minor, repeat that section, and then the second time go to G as we normally would.
I'd surrender it all the praise that I could earn means nothing without hers. I'm not sure that I deserve all the love that I receive, but I'd give it all to her.
See, I did you the favor of playing the outro there as well. So take away the first 2 bars of the intro and you have your outro. That's it. Alright, back to Daylight Joe. Alright folks, that's really it. That's all the tools I have at my disposal when playing this song, and now you do too, I hope. So go forth into the world and have fun with it, because that's what it's all about. If you got something out of this video, if you like this tutorial, I would very much appreciate you hitting that little thumbs up button down there. And if you're feeling really generous, a subscription, I wouldn't mind. If you got any questions or any criticism, leave a comment down below and we can fight about it there. And honestly, if you've made it this far in the video, you are a real trooper and I appreciate it. With that said, stop procrastinating and practice the song. I mean it. Go on. Get out of here, now.